everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are tackling a topic today that is truly universal, incredibly common, and, well, let's be honest, highly embarrassing. Yep, we're talking about the naked dream. You know the exact one I mean. You're just walking down the street, maybe you're sitting in a classroom, or you stand up to give a big presentation, and suddenly you look down and realize you completely forgot to put clothes on. It is a wildly uncomfortable experience for sure, but today we're actually going to unpack the deep spiritual meaning of this phenomenon based on some really fascinating insights from Flow. So, have you ever found yourself completely exposed in a dream? Just sit with that feeling for a second. The sudden panic, that immediate, desperate rush to cover yourself up. It's a super heavy, visceral reaction, right? But instead of just writing it off as a random stressful nightmare from eating too much cheese before bed, we're going to look at this through a spiritual lens. We're going to understand what your subconscious is actually trying to tell you and how you can use this super awkward nighttime vision to dramatically improve your waking life. Okay, let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the message in the dream. 2, vulnerability in your relationships. 3, shedding your emotional armor. 4, facing the fear of judgment. And 5, embracing new beginnings. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the message in the dream, messages from spirit. The core idea presented by Flow is that all of our dreams, yes, even the ones that literally make us wake up in a cold sweat, contain amazing, life-improving messages from spirit. We absolutely have to listen to these spiritual directions because they guide us in so many different incredible ways. When we actually tune into what these dreams are saying, they act kind of like a compass. They guide us, they offer us ways to pivot, to grow, and to heal. So the naked dream, despite how incredibly awkward it feels in the moment, is actually one of the most potent and direct messages you can possibly receive. Moving right along to section 2, vulnerability in your relationships, the core meaning. Here's the real crux of it. Nakedness in a dream symbolizes the state of feeling vulnerable in your waking life. Whether we're talking about a friendship, a tricky family dynamic, or a romantic partnership, being naked in a dream basically indicates that you're feeling entirely exposed in that relationship. It often points directly to miscommunications or maybe misunderstandings where you just feel raw and totally undefended against the people around you. Because here is the undeniable truth. Vulnerability is key to fostering closer, deeper bonds. Now, while a lot of us actively avoid feeling vulnerable, in fact, a source notes that vulnerability is completely missing in a ton of the relationships we have today. It is actually the essential ingredient for deep connection. You simply cannot have true intimacy without taking off that armor and letting someone see the real you. Which brings us perfectly to section 3, shedding your emotional armor. What are you hiding behind? I really want you to listen to this quote for a second. Guarding yourself against your own emotions, in fact, holding on to those feelings in your chest, that is such a heavy, powerful concept, isn't it? The dream of being naked isn't just about other people looking at you, it's actually about you protecting yourself from your own true feelings. You hold those feelings tight in your chest to protect yourself, largely because you're terrified of how you perceive others might react to them. Notice the direct contrast here. If nakedness equals vulnerability, then clothes, well, they represent concealment. Wearing clothes symbolizes guarding your emotions, being closed off, and hiding your inner identity. Being naked, on the other hand, represents open communication, being exposed, and ultimately fostering those deep bonds. We all walk around with this invisible emotional armor on, so we don't let people in. But being too closed off, especially with romantic partners or our closest friends, often completely backfires. It literally keeps out the exact connection we actually crave. So if you're seeing yourself, or honestly, even if you're seeing other people roaming around naked in the dream, it actually means you are actively blocking vulnerability in real life. It suggests that you're feeling exposed, but you're resisting it hard. You are not allowing yourself to just be vulnerable with the people around you, and your subconscious is playing that resistance out by literally stripping away your protective layers in the dream state. All right, on to section 4, facing the fear of judgment being on show. Let's be totally real for a second. Vulnerability doesn't come naturally to most of us. There is a very, very valid reason we put our guard up in the first place. We build these walls because people hurt us. In reality, that's just a fact of life. We also have a deep fear of gossiping, a feeling placed on a pedestal where every single action we take is being heavily scrutinized and judged. The naked dream is a direct reflection of these intense, waking anxieties. You're just worried about what other people are talking about and how they're constantly perceiving your actions. As the source brilliantly points out, without clothes, your inner soul is on show and naturally judged. The clothes we wear conceal our inner identity. When they're gone, you feel entirely on show. Let's face it, if you are completely naked in a room full of people, you are naturally going to feel judged. So, if you're having this dream, it means you feel like you're stuck on that pedestal right now, entirely vulnerable to the opinions of literally everyone around you.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Embracing New Beginnings, the Spiritual Reset.
Actually, scratch the doom and gloom. It is not all anxiety and fear. Think about it. We are born naked from our very first breath in this world. When we take that first breath, we have no clothes, we have no armor, we have no walls. Therefore, returning to this state in a dream can actually symbolize birth. It indicates exciting new possibilities, fresh starts, and honestly, a complete spiritual reset in your life. So what do we actually do with this information? Well, here are 3 exact, actionable steps from the source material to help you foster healthier relationships. Step 1, focus on what you really want. Just cut through the noise and figure out your true desires. Step 2, open communication with others. It's time to stop hiding behind your emotional clothes. And step 3, watch how you navigate relationships over the coming weeks. Pay very close attention to your daily interactions and notice exactly when you try to put that armor back on.
If you take away just one thing today, let it be this simple, empowering truth from Anti-Flow. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being vulnerable in life. It's how we connect, it's how we grow, and it's how we foster the healthy relationships that make life so fulfilling. This dream isn't a punishment. It's just a gentle nudge from your spirit telling you to open up.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Since we were all born naked, how will you navigate your relationships in the coming weeks? Are you going to keep wearing that heavy emotional armor, or are you finally ready to take it off and embrace true vulnerability? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you leave today feeling empowered to live just a little more openly. Catch you next time.